So can anyone remind me what summarize means? To summarize a story. Giselle?
Summarizing means that when you summarize, you get the highlights of the story.
The highlights of the story. So while I read this story, feel free to underline major events that happen in the story, okay? Abigail, do you have something you want to say? The main ideas of what happens, right? Okay. So I'm going to start, and feel free to follow along with your finger or your pencil. And underline, if you'd like to, the events that happen. Dear Boy, an excerpt from Because of Winn-Dixie. In Because of Winn-Dixie, Opal Baloney has just relocated with her father, who is a preacher, to a small town in Florida. Does anyone know what a preacher is? Noah?
Preacher is somebody that leads church.
Yes, someone who is the leader of a church. Thank you. In the following passage from chapter 1, Opal goes to the supermarket to buy macaroni and cheese, but she returns home with much more. From that day on, her life begins to change in important ways as she learns about the value of friendship and community, compassion and forgiveness. At first, I didn't see a dog. There were just a lot of vegetables rolling around on the floor, tomatoes and onions and green peppers. And there was what seemed like a whole army of Winn-Dixie employees running around, waving their arms just the same way the store manager was waving his. So from this passage, does anyone have a guess of what Winn-Dixie could be in the story? If they're running around Winn-Dixie with vegetables rolling around, what kind of business it is? Where do we buy vegetables? Abigail? At a supermarket. So maybe Winn-Dixie is a supermarket. And then the dog came running around the corner. He was a big dog and ugly, and he looked like he was having a real good time. His tongue was hanging out and he was wagging his tail. He skidded to a stop and smiled right at me. I had never before in my life seen a dog smile, but that is what he did. He pulled back his lips and showed me all his teeth. Then he wagged his tail so hard that he knocked some oranges off a display, and they went rolling everywhere, mixing in with the tomatoes and onions and green peppers. The manager screamed, "Somebody grab that dog!" The dog went running over to the manager, wagging his tail and smiling. He stood up on his hind legs. You could tell that all he wanted to do was get face to face with the manager and thank him for the good time he was having in the produce department. But somehow he ended up knocking the manager over. And the manager must have been having a bad day, because lying there on the floor, right in front of everybody, he started to cry. The dog leaned over him, real concerned, and licked his face. "Please," said the manager, "somebody call the pound." Anyone want to guess what the pound could mean in the story? If we say somebody call the pound for the dog. Caesar?
It's a pet shelter.
Like a pet shelter, yeah. Like maybe they want someone to come get the dog who doesn't have an owner. "Wait a minute," I hollered. "That's my dog. Don't call the pound." All the Winn-Dixie employees turned around and looked at me, and I knew I had done something big, and maybe stupid too, but I couldn't help it. I couldn't let that dog go to the pound. "Here, boy," I said. Okay, so turn and talk with your partner. Do you think that that is Opal's dog?
No.
Turn and talk with your partner.
Said that because I want the pound. It's like a bad place.
Okay,
And
all right, so now I'm gonna call on a pair to tell us what they think, if they think it's Opal's dog or not. Giselle?
It's not Opal's dog. it's not Opal's dog because when she walked in, she didn't have a dog.
Correct. She didn't have a dog when she walked in, right? And she saw this dog in the produce department. Okay, so now we're going to summarize the story. So I'm going to ask you to turn and talk with your partner. Feel free to also look at the story. What is one of the first major things that happens in this story? You can underline the first major part of the story if you'd like.
I did it.
Okay. So Nathan, what's the first thing that happened? Okay, so the dog's running around. Did anyone say anything different, or can anyone add on to that? Kylie? Opal relocated. Okay. What about the part that Giselle talked about? Does anyone remember what Giselle talked about? Brianna? Giselle, what did you tell us about?
I told everybody that Opal walked in without a dog and she came out with a dog.
Yes.
And she came out with the dog because she didn't want him to wear the dog.
Correct. So what would you say the first major thing was?
That when Dixie or the dog was running around the entire mark.
Okay, so we'll see what Nathan said too. So Opal saw Winn-Dixie. So we're gonna write the first part of our summary. We are gonna write it in this part of our book, okay? Right here. We're gonna write our summary right here on these lines. So make sure you have a pencil. We're gonna write right here. Yeah, you can start writing. We're gonna write Opal. Went to. Can anyone remind me the name of the grocery store? Winn-Dixie. Let's see, Winn-Dixie. And saw a dog running around. If you're done, let me see your thumb so I know we can move on. If you're not done, you can keep writing. So now we're going to go to the next part of the summary. You're going to turn and tell your partner, what's the next major thing that happened?
The manager was waving his arms. No, when Dixie. Yeah, I was gonna say it too. Because the vegetables rolling around. Somebody grabbed it. Yeah, he looked like afraid, but and it was his shoe. And the dog. He was problematic. The second part was the manager trying to grab the
Yes. That's some really good things, but I want to give other people a chance. Thank you for participating. Samira, could you tell us the second thing that happened? The second big thing that happened. So we're gonna be quiet, Amir, and we're gonna listen to Samira's answer.
The dog runs over the manager, and the manager starts crying.
Okay. The dog runs over to the manager, and the manager's pretty upset, right? He's kind of having a rough day. And sometimes when we have a rough day, we cry. It's a rough day. Noah, is there something you want to add on?
Vegetables are flying around.
Okay, that's a detail. So remember, guys, we want to make sure when we're writing our summary, it's about like major key events, okay? But that is a detail. Giselle?
Is that he said that for somebody to call the town on the Dixie.
Okay, so that's after we see the manager, right?
Yeah, after we see the manager crying on the floor, he says somebody please call the town.
Okay, so I'm gonna take both of what Samira and Giselle said and I'll make it into a second key point, okay? So I'll write that the manager wanted to, you know what, guys? I'm actually gonna have us write store manager. The store manager wanted to call the pound on, oh, actually, I read this story, so I was gonna write the dog's name, but I'm not gonna do that. On the dog. Let me see your thumb when you're done. If you're not done, that's okay. Okay, so the third part of the story, what is the last major thing that happens with Opal and the dogs? Turn and tell your partner for like 30 seconds. I think a lot of people know it. And then I'll call on a group. Okay. Abigail's group. Abigail, could you tell us the last major thing that happened? This table should be listening. Opal says the dog is hurt. Yes, that is the last major thing that happened. And this leads us on something that Mr. Mappa told us about. It's something that happens when you're left and you don't know what happens after. It's like when you're watching a TV show, something big is about to happen, and then you're left on a, does anyone remember the term for it? Oh, we talked about it in ELD, so not everyone was in this class. Abigail? It's a cliffhanger. So we're left on a cliffhanger. We don't know if Opal ended up with the dog, right? But she said, that's my dog. So we don't know if she ended up with it. But yes, that is the last major thing that happened. Opal said the dog was hers. Alright, so make sure you write the last thing that happened. And then we are going to move on to our language arts groups. Alright, so if everyone looks at the directions of our close reading purpose page, it says first person point of view is when a narrator tells a story from their own eyes. An observation is when the narrator describes something that is not a feeling or opinion. So an observation is just you say what you see, okay? It's not about feelings or what you think about it. In contrast, a judgment is when the narrator includes a feeling or opinion. So I'm gonna write on this whiteboard what an observation is, okay? Can someone remind me what I just said about an observation? You can look at the directions about what an observation means if you don't remember. Anakin, do you know what an observation is? You say what you see. Thank you, Anakin. You say what you see. Okay, turn and tell your partner what a judgment is. If you don't remember, it also says it in the directions. So it's two things, guys. Two things. Someone besides Anakin, anyone want to tell us? Santiago?
A judgment is when the narrator includes
Feeling has to do with your feelings, right? Your emotions, or opinion. And can anyone tell me what an opinion means? Okay. What you think about something. So it's an emotion or what you think about something. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at paragraph 4 in on page 5 of the story. And I'm gonna read paragraph 4 to us. We're gonna try to find first the observations when I read, okay? First the observations. The dog went running over to the manager, wagging his tail and smiling. Observation or judgment? Observation, right? Because we're just being told what the dog was doing. He stood up on his hind legs. So we should be underlining when we're finding the observations, okay? Make sure you have your pencil out, you're underlining the observations. Do you underline? You could tell that all he wanted to do was get face to face with the manager and thank him for the good time he was having in the produce department. But somehow he ended up knocking the manager over. So you decide from that sentence where the observation is. Where the author is just telling us, the narrator is just telling us what they see. And the manager must have been having a bad day because lying there on the floor, right in front of everybody, he started to cry. Underline where you find the observation. The dog leaned over him, real concerned, and licked his face. All right, so you should be done underlining now. We're gonna take out this paper. We're gonna go to this box where it says observations that Opal makes, and then it says what she sees happen. Can someone tell me the first thing from the story of what Opal sees? Turn and tell your partner the first thing that Opal sees.
He just saw a lot of vegetables. And she lost it, and then after that she did see a dog that was running.
So we're just looking at paragraph 4. What's the first sentence of what she sees?
The dog went running.
Amir, can you tell Anakin the first thing that she sees?
Apples falling.
Can you read the first sentence for us, Amir?
On number 4.
Paragraph 4.
The dog went running over to the manager, wagging his tail and smiling. He stood
Okay, let's pause. Is that an observation? Right? Yeah, so that's the first thing that Opal sees. Can we write that all down, guys? The dog went running over to the manager, wagging his tail and smiling. Harper, did you catch that? Did you hear what we said? The first thing, the dog went running over to the manager, wagging his tail and smiling. Make sure you leave enough room to write other observations. We should be writing on this paper. This paper. Everything is going to be done on our worksheet, okay? Nothing in the book. Nothing in the reader. Keep writing. When you're done, you can show me your thumb so I know we're ready to move on. Santiago's ready. Amir's ready. Good job, Jessica. Okay, one more thing happened that was an observation, and then we're gonna move on to a judgment that was made. So what's the next thing that Opal could see the dog doing? Anakin?
He wanted to go face to face with the manager and thank him for a good time.
Before that, something about his legs. Something about his legs. Turn and tell your partner right after the dog was smiling. There's another sentence about the dog, an observation.
He stood up on his line. What is it? What is it? What is the question again?
The next thing after the dog was smiling, over here, right here, this sentence. Could you tell us what it says, Harper?
He stood up on his head legs.
Yes, he stood up on his hind.
Legs.
That means like these legs. He stood up on his hind legs, okay? On his back legs. So we should write that. The second observation, he stood up on his hind legs. That's not a judgment because it's not about a feeling or opinion. So it's an observation. Now, Anakin already said the sentence that has the judgment that we're looking for. So let's read the sentence after he stood up on his hind legs. I'm gonna have Kylie, do you want to read it for us?
Yeah. You could tell that all he wanted to do was get face to face with the manager and thank him for the good time he was having in the previous.
Okay. So, is that a judgment or an observation? Turn and tell your partner that
Is
sentence.
that an observation or
Judgment or an observation?
judgment or observation?
Santiago, can you talk to Jessica if it's a judgment or an observation?
Judgment. It's a judgment.
Santiago, you can talk to her even if she's still learning. It's okay. So, do you want to tell her? Is it a judgment or an observation?
I told her already.
What'd you say?
I told her already.
Okay, what did you say? Judgment?
You
And
can
wh-
get it.
And why is it a judgment? Can anyone tell us why it is a judgment? It's about one or the other, two things. Santiago? You could tell, right? So is the dog telling Opal that the dog is happy? No, right? But Opal is what? Opal is Anakin? Opal is thinking that the dog is happy, right? She says you could tell that all he wanted to do was get face to face with the manager and thank him for the good time he was having. So that is an observation. So you can circle that sentence, that part of the sentence. You could tell that all he wanted to do was get face to face with the manager and thank him for the good time he was having in the produce department. And then we're gonna write that sentence right here where it says judgment that Opal makes. We're gonna write the circled sentence right here, judgment that Opal makes. So you need to circle. You could tell that all he wanted to do was get face to face with the manager and thank him for the good time he was having. We're gonna write that sentence down. Not the full sentence where it has but in it, everything before but. Everything before the comma. Let's see. So this part, we're gonna circle. All of this, Jessica, you're gonna write, okay? We're gonna write this here. You could tell. So, or, yeah. For the rest of the time, I'm gonna let you independently find another observation, and if you have time, a judgment. So now you can find another judgment or observation in the text in paragraph 4. I'll let you decide if you want to find another observation or judgment in the text after you rate that. I'm gonna read paragraph 4. You are looking, as I said, for the observations and the judgments. You decide if you wanna underline observation and circle judgments, or if you can just tell them apart by underlining. It's up to you. I'm gonna start reading. Paragraph 4, page 5. Follow along with your pencil or your finger or your eyes, okay? The dog went running over to the manager, wagging his tail and smiling. He stood up on his hind legs. You could tell that all he wanted to do was get face to face with the manager and thank him for the good time he was having in the produce department. But somehow he ended up knocking the manager over. And the manager must have been having a bad day, because lying there on the floor, right in front of everybody, he started to cry. The dog leaned over him, real concerned, and licked his face. So you should have underlined observations and judgments, or circled judgments, or either or. And I'm gonna have you turn and talk with your partner about where are 2 observations in the story. So 2 observations in the story, 2 sentences you can tell your partner about. Inu talked to Noah, Tim and Anderson, Giovanna and Stephen, and Aislinn and Diana. Turn and talk with your partner about 2 observations Opal made in the story. Yes? His hind legs or his back legs? Okay? So 2 observations the narrator made in the story. 2 sentences. Anywhere in the story, 2 sentences. Oh, paragraph 4, everyone. Only paragraph 4. You want to look at paragraph 4? This one? The dogs are growing. Okay, is that an observation or is that a judgment? Observation, right? Because it's just what the narrator saw. Can you underline it right there? Good job. One more observation, you know. Noah. One more where the narrator is just telling us what they see. No opinion, just what they see.
Because the picture shot me
Leg. So that's another one right there. He stood up on his hind legs. Good job. All right. Tim, can you tell us the first observation that you found in the story?
He stood up on his hind legs.
Yes, that's an observation. So I'll write that down for us. He stood up on his hind legs. So where you're going to write this, everyone? You're going to write it, observations that Opal makes. Everyone, we're going to write it in this box, observations that Opal makes. So the first one. This is not the first one in the story, but the first one that someone in our class said. He stood up. It's also in the story, the second sentence, if you don't want to wait for me to write it. His hind legs. He stood up on his hind legs.
Do you write that here?
He stood up on his hind legs. Can someone from another pair, when you're done writing, tell us a second observation you made? Stephen, are you ready? He stood up on his hind legs, where it says observation. Okay, another pair. Diana, can you tell us what you and your partner said was another observation?
You could tell that he wanted to was get on his face to face with the manager. And
Okay, yeah, thank you for saying that one. Do you think that's an observation, something that she sees? Or do you think she's making a judgment? She's interpreting the dog. It's an observation, so which sentences is it? Can you say it again?
you could tell that all he wanted to do was get face to face with the manager and thank him for the good time he was having in the business.
Okay, so could the dog tell Opal that he was having a good time?
No.
So is Opal, how does Opal know that, right? What is she doing? She's using something to figure out how the dog's feeling. She's judging, right? By looking at how the dog is acting. So that's one of our judgments. We're gonna write that sentence right here, okay? The judgment can go right in this box. So the judgment sentence is, you could tell, which is, let's see, it's the third sentence, okay? You could tell that all he wanted to do. Thank you for saying that one, Diana. This is a judgment. All he wanted to do was, if you don't need to wait for me to write it, guys, too, you can write it from the third sentence. All he wanted to do was get face to face.
Yes, I do.
With the manager. We don't need to say and thank him because we're going to move on to another observation. So what you can do is put 3 dots because we're not done with the sentence. You can put 3 dots right here. So remember, an observation is not something where we're putting emotions to what we're seeing. It's only about what we really see the dog doing. So another observation, what we really see the dog doing. Did everyone write it down?
Yeah.
Okay. Noah, what's another observation?
The dog running over to the manager, wagging his tail, and smiling.
Okay, that's a great one. The dog ran over. Yes. This is an observation, so we're gonna put it in the left box, everyone, this box. Another observation. Great job, everyone, for reading well. Wagging his tail and smiling.
Wait, which one?
If you finished writing, we have a little time for you. You can decide if you want to write a judgment or an observation. We have 2 observations and 1 judgment right now. So maybe you want to add another judgment to your paper. Or you can add another observation. It's up to you. If we have time, we can share out the last observation or judgment that I'll let you find in the text. Did everyone write it?
No.
Okay. Do you need the whiteboard? No one? Okay. So now find another observation or judgment and add it to either box. Noah, could you help Inu? So Noah, if you could find another observation or judgment, and you and Inu can write it together. Because I know you know it so well now. You could even do the last sentence, Noah.
Number 6? Or
This one? This part, is that a judgment or an observation? Okay. Let's think again. No, can the dog tell Opal that the dog is concerned? It's a judgment. So that's another judgment. Okay, Inu, are you still writing?
Oh, yeah, right here.
So you're gonna wanna put that in which box?
And you put it in this.
This box. Great job. So you found another judgment to add, you and Inu. Do you need help, Anderson? You wanna show me your last one? Yes. Why is that a judgment? He's not telling, right? She's interpreting. Yeah, that he's crying because he's having a hard day. Good job. So everyone should be on page 5. And Giselle, do you need one? Okay, so we are trying to find an observations in this story and judgments in this story. Caesar, can you tell us what an observation is? What you see in the story, okay? So if there's a narrator, they're saying exactly what they see in front of them. A judgment, Isaac, can you tell us what a judgment is? It says it right here. You can sound it out too. Feeling. Opinion. You got it. So a judgment is a feeling or opinion. Okay? So the narrator in this story, Opal, she's gonna be making observations about what she's seeing, and she's gonna be making judgments. Okay? She's gonna tell us exactly what she sees, and she's gonna tell us what she thinks people feel. Does that make sense? All right. So in this paper, we're writing observations on this side in the story, specifically from paragraph 4, right here, paragraph 4 on page 5, paragraph 4. And we're going to be writing judgments on this side, okay? In the story that Opal makes. So I'm going to read paragraph 4. While I read, please underline, please underline or circle observations and opinions that are made, okay? And then we're going to be putting them on the worksheet. So I'm going to start reading. The dog went running over to the manager, wagging his tail and smiling. He stood up on his hind legs, which means his back legs. Here's one. Here's one. Page 5. You could tell that all he wanted to do was get face to face with the manager and thank him for the good time he was having in the produce department. But somehow he ended up knocking the manager over. And the manager must have been having a bad day, because lying there on the floor right in front of everybody, he started to cry. The dog leaned over him, real concerned, and licked his face. So you're gonna turn and talk to your partner. Jose, you're gonna talk to me. Brianna, you're gonna talk to Giselle. Caesar, you're gonna talk to Isaac. And you're gonna tell your partner the first observation that you see, and then the second observation that you see in the story. So one person in the partnership can say the first one, the other person can say the second observation, okay? So we're looking for what the narrator sees in the story.
Running over to the manager.
But this is what an observation is. What the narrator sees, okay?
He started crying.
So what did Opal see? Let's read the first sentence.
The dog was running over the
over to the manager, waving his tail and smiling. He stood up and his hind leg
Okay, those are two observations, right? Okay, so my second observation would be, yeah, he stood up on his hind legs. Because that's just what she sees, right? Is she making a judgment? No, she's just telling me that's what she sees.
You can start from the beginning.
Underline it, yeah. If you find an observation, guys, underline it so you can find it later when I call on you. Angela, can you move over here? You're gonna work with Jose, okay? Here, I'll get your chair.
No, there's the chair over there. There's chairs over there.
Okay. All right, so we're trying to find an observation, Angela. That's just what the narrator sees. So Jose, can you tell Angela the two observations you found?
The dog went running over to the manager, waving his tail and smiling.
Can you underline that? And then the second one.
He stood up with his hind leg.
Okay, thank you. So those are the two observations that Jose found. Did everyone hear Jose? No? Okay, could you tell us an observation you found, Caesar?
The dog went running over to the manager.
Great, that's what Jose said. Jose, can you say the second thing you said?
He stood up on his hind leg.
Beautiful. Those are the two observations we found, okay? We're gonna be writing these right here. This box, left box, observations, where it says observations. So, Brianna, do you have something you want to say? Okay. We're gonna be just copying, guys, in that box, the first two sentences. Yes, Giselle?
I forgot.
Okay. No need to wait for me to write the words because they're actually in your book too. The first sentence is what I'm writing. Yep. We're gonna write both sentences. These are the two observations. What's coming right here? Yeah, right there. Good job. When you're done, you can show me your thumb. Okay, Caesar's thumb. Make sure you write both sentences, guys. Good job, Caesar. Are you done? I can't answer any questions. Good job. Hind legs are his back legs. If you are done, you can begin to look for an observation. No, sorry, not an observation. You can begin to look for a judgment, which means Opal is interpreting a feeling or an opinion. Yes.
Is a judgment that Opal makes
That the manager was having he fell down and when Dixie knocked the manager down over and he started crying. Is that a judgment?
We're gonna turn and talk with our partner about that, and then I will answer it together, okay? So, if you're not done, are you both done, Brianna and Giselle? You can turn and talk with each other about the judgments that you think you found. You're done? Jose, you're not done? Isaac, you're not done?
I'm done.
You are done? Can you turn and talk with each other about the judgments that you found in the story?
Manager must have been having a bad day and he started to cry. You can tell that
And let's read this one.
he wanted
You can tell that
to
all
get
he wanted to do
face
was get
to face with the
face
manager
to
and
face
thank
with
him
the manager
for a
and
good
thank
time
him
he
for
was
the
having
good time he was
in
having
the produce
in
department, but
called
somehow he ended up knocking the manager over. I think
The part.
that's a judgment.
corner, but somehow he ended up knocking the
Manager.
manager over and
Good job. That's enough. So do you think, Isaac and Caesar, do you guys think this part is a judgment or do you think it's an observation? You can look at what judgment means over there. Why do you think it's a judgment? You know what? We're gonna wait so we can have a whole class conversation. So Jose and Angela, you guys can finish. Did you finish? No? You did finish. You finished writing right here. Just put a period. Jose, did you finish? You finished writing.
Yeah.
Yep. Put a period. Make sure we always put periods at the end of our sentences, everyone. Okay, so, period. The judgments that we found, Caesar and Isaac found a judgment. Can you guys tell us the judgment you found? Isaac, why don't you tell us?
we found
You could tell.
you could tell that all he wanted to do was get face to face with the manager and thank him for the good time he was having in the
Pro-
department, but somehow
Awesome.
he ended up knocking the manager over.
Okay, so the very end, when it says but, somehow, is that an observation or is that a judgment? Caesar? The very end, is the Opal telling us what she sees? Yeah. Before that, it's a what? Judgment because she has an opinion about the manager, right? So we're gonna write that sentence down. You could tell. You know what? It's actually in your book. This sentence. It's the third sentence, okay? You don't have to wait for me to write it. You can start writing it. Third sentence. You could tell that all he wanted. We're just gonna write part of the sentence because we don't have much time. To do was get face to face with the manager.
You guys stay here.
We're just gonna write this, okay? Just this.
Is it PE?
We don't want to write all
No.
of it. We just want to write this part, Angela. We just want to write this. once you've written this, you can go to PE. Thank you for your attention. Great job, Caesar. Thank you, Isaac. Hi, Giselle.
Yes, you can. Go.
I think we can. Okay, yes. So, Mohammed, I've already said that we need to be on page 5. Where is your reader? I've said that like 4 times. Remember that we are recording, okay? So, best behavior, please. Okay, so I'm going to read paragraph 4. We are looking for the observations in this story. So an observation is what the author, the narrator sees in the story, okay? And judgments in the story, which are feelings or opinions that the narrator is making. We understand? Okay. So I'm going to read paragraph 4. Follow along with your eyes, a pencil, or your finger. Please underline observations and judgments that you find in the story. Underline or circle. The dog went running over to the manager, wagging his tail and smiling. He stood up on his hind legs. Paragraph 4, Nathan. You could tell that all he wanted to do was get face to face with the manager and thank him for the good time he was having in the produce department. But somehow he ended up knocking the manager over. And the manager must have been having a bad day, because lying there on the floor, right in front of everybody, he started to cry. The dog leaned over him, real concerned, and licked his face. Okay, so you're going to turn and talk with your partner first about any observations from the story that you read. You're going to underline them so that you can go back to them when we need to write them down, okay? So turn and talk with your partner. Eli, you're going to talk to Julian. Zophie, talk to Mohammed. Nathan, talk to Kale. Samira, talk to Abigail. Does everyone have a partner? Okay. So you're going to turn and talk with your partner first about any observations in the story that we read. So remember, observation means what the narrator sees, just what they see. Okay? So you can begin talking to your partner about the observation that you found in the story. We're going to find 2. So one partner, find one observation. The other partner, find the second observation. They don't have to be in order. Yes?
I'm not sure what an observation is, but can you explain that to me, please?
So as I said, observation means what the narrator sees. So what if I made an observation right now, Zophie? I would say Zophie is wearing a white polo shirt. That's an observation. I'm telling you exactly what I'm seeing. Got it? So I would make a judgment if I said Mohammed has really cool glasses on. That's a judgment. I think his glasses are really cool. But if I just said Mohammed has glasses on, what is that? It's not a judgment. It would be it's over there on the board. Abigail? That's an observation. But if I said Mohammed has really cool glasses, that's a judgment. Because I think they're cool, but maybe Nathan thinks they're not cool. Okay? So a judgment is something that you think, but not that everyone thinks. It's your opinion. All right, so we're trying to find 2 observations. That Zophie's wearing a white polo shirt, Mohammed's wearing green glasses. Okay? So one partner find one, the other partner find the other.
I found the first. I found the wearing a...
Great. Okay, can you find another one with Abigail? Abigail, can you show Samir where another observation is?
The man sweating has shocked to see sitting around and trying to make the store manager. I see the dog.
Okay.
So I see the
underline that as an
dog
observation?
was playing around with the.
Can you underline that as an observation?
I can see that.
See if you can find one more, guys.
The dog's very happy, and the man is very
See, that's a dog.
The whole sentence. You need to write on the desk, not on your legs. We have a desk for a reason. Sit properly, please. There we go. Good job. Yes. So Abigail, can you tell us the two observations your group made? Okay, I thought you found the first sentence as an observation. Did you not? Can you read us the first sentence? Awesome. So that's the first observation that our group made, okay? The dog went running over to the manager, wagging his tail and smiling. So that's the first sentence. Everyone, you can copy that in this box right here. We're going to write our first observation in the box that says observation.
Okay.
Sophie, do you need a paper or do you have one?
I'm not sure, but let me check. So,
Yeah.
can you repeat that again?
We're gonna write the observation on the left side box. Observations that Opal makes.
I need it.
Here you go.
Thank you.
So we're gonna write the first sentence in that box. Yes. Okay. So the first sentence, Carol, good job for writing it so quickly. The dog went running. Now, there's another observation too. Could someone tell us another observation? Samira?
Lying there to cry.
Lying there.
To cry. And lying there on the floor right in front of everybody, he started to cry.
Okay, we can write that one as an observation. So this is the first observation we've written. If you have a different observation that you want to write down, that's okay. But this is the second one that I'm writing down. So the second one is what Samira just said. Has everyone written the first one down?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to write down the second one. Samira, can you read it to me again? Lying there on the floor.
Right in front of everybody, he started to cry.
Okay, so when the manager starts to cry, she's observing what she sees. Lying there on the floor.
We just put that? Yes.
Lying there right in front of everybody.
Lying there on the floor. Everybody.
Kale, if you're done, you can start looking for judgments. Anyone who's done, you can start looking for judgments. He started to cry. A judgment is a feeling or opinion. Is what you're reading a feeling or an opinion?
We also find something in the picture.
Paragraph 4. That's it. Thank you for asking. So where we're gonna write our judgments is in this box next, okay? Once you've found a judgment, if your partner is also done, you guys can talk about the judgment that you found. If your partner is not done, then you can quietly look for a judgment, underline it, and be ready to tell your partner. So, can you turn and talk with your partner? If you're not done, just keep writing. Turn and talk with your partner, Kale, we can talk about a judgment that you found in the story. Remember, a judgment is a feeling or opinion. So, the author writes about a feeling or an opinion. The narrator. What judgment did you find? An observation. That goes over here. You're done? Why don't you guys talk about a judgment that you found in the text?
Okay.
So if you need to find one, you can look back at the text. So Julian and Zofia, are you guys done? I know that you're part. Oh, Mohammed, are you done? Okay, so if you're done, partners, please talk to each other about a judgment that you found in the text. Do you know which sentence that is that he's talking about? Can you show Julian which sentence you're talking about? Yes, great job, Eli. Beautiful. Eli, can you tell the group what judgment you found in the text?
You could tell that all he wanted to do was get face to face with the manager and thank him for the good time he was having in the
Produce department, yes. So Kale, please get with the group. Eli just told us a judgment he found. And I'm gonna read it for us, okay? Third sentence, you could tell that all he wanted to do was get face to face with the manager and thank him for the good time he was having in the produce department. Mohammed, I have a question. Do dogs talk?
No.
No, right? So the dog could not tell Opal that he was having a good time. So what did Opal make? She made something. She made something. It's a word over here that told us whether the dog was having a good time or not.
Cry? He was crying so he could have a good time.
You know what? Let's read it again. You could tell he, let's see, was having a good time. You could tell he was having a good time. How can you tell someone's having a good time? What do they do? What do they do, Sophie?
They smile.
They smile. The dog was smiley, right? So the dog wasn't able to tell Opal that. Instead, it was a... Yeah, so, okay, it was a judgment, right? Opal made a judgment about the dog. The dog couldn't tell her, but she could read his facial expression, that he was very happy. So let's write that sentence in judgment, okay? So in this box, we're gonna write that sentence that Eli told us in this box. Yes? Yeah. Okay, we don't have a lot of time, so we're gonna write the sentence. If you wrote a different judgment, can you tell me what you wrote? That's a great one. That is also a judgment. So you can write what Abigail wrote. The manager must have been having a bad day. Or you can write, you could tell all he wanted to do was get face to face with the manager. So you decide which sentence you want to write. So I'll write both for us. The manager was having a bad day. And you could tell
Clean up. Put your stuff away.
he wanted
Clean up.
to get face to face with the manager. Which is the third sentence, everyone. You don't need to wait for me to write it. You can also find it in the third sentence. Can I see what you wrote? Beautiful. Can you write a period? Make sure whenever you guys write a sentence that you write a period after it so we know that you're done with your thought.